The Diablo 4 PTR just finished, and all I did was play Rogue, so I've got 15 notes in regards to the Rogue of things I'd like either buffed or fixed, maybe some glitches. Starting off with Victimize. I don't know if it's still bugged or if it's just bad, but I'd like it to be buffed. I really tried to make a viable Victimize build, but A, I can't even see the effects, like visually, and B, I don't see the damage being that impressive to make me want to use it over some of the other key passives. Which leads me into my second note, which is the lack of sources for vulnerable damage, core damage, and ultimate damage. Because things like Victimize benefit from vulnerable damage, but you can't really get a lot of sources of it. And same with core damage. The Leyrana's Instinct legendary node benefits from core damage, which actually has the potential to make Inner Sight viable and compete with combo point builds, but it's almost impossible to get core damage nowadays. Same with ultimate damage. For the No Witnesses node, you can't really scale this that well, making it weak and not being able to compete with the other builds. Number 3, the lack of damage reduction for melee rogue builds. Playing the PTR, I basically feel like Dark Shroud is an essential skill to use now in order to survive. So instead of having to use Umbers or a marksman skill to generate your Dark Shroud shadows, I'd like to see maybe a new defensive aspect that gives you damage reduction, maybe from using Cutthroat skills. Maybe something that makes Cutthroat skills generate Dark Shroud shadows. Or if they buffed Momentum, the key passive, which is my next note, that might also fix the problem. I'd like to see them tweak Momentum somehow. Maybe like the more life per second that you stack, the more damage reduction you get from using Momentum. So you can make a really tanky rogue that generates a lot of life whilst being super tanky. You're not going to deal the same amount of damage, but at least you can pretend you're a barbarian. Number 5, I'd like to see all of the unique weapons buffed. Now that there's tempering and you can't actually temper unique items, the affixes are just too bad on basically every unique weapon. In one way, it's nice to not have to use Condemnation in every build anymore, but items like Eaglehorn or Wind Force that never saw the use before, they're definitely not going to be used now. And also, Blizzard, where is the first unique crossbow? I'm still waiting. Number 6 is actually a glitch I noticed, and I saw Woody Joe ran into this problem as well, with the new affix that allows you to increase the amount of casts you have for an imbue. Like, according to my gear, I had like an additional 7 casts, but in reality, when I clicked my imbue, it was like 5. So it didn't add as many casts for my imbue that the tooltip said it would. So I'm sure that bug has been reported. I'm gonna put it in here anyway. Number 7, Ice in the Dark, the unique pants, and the Scoundrel's Leather. I want to see these two items buffed. They're basically Rogue's unique items for trap builds, but they just need something new. Maybe trap cooldown or some fun trap affix. And also, like, the trap tempering is on weapons, so I'd love to see that be moved to utility instead, so that all the trap madness we can do is just increased. Number 8, this is actually a weird bug that I ran into with Preparation. So Preparation states that if you spend 75 energy, your ultimate cooldown will be reduced by 5 seconds. Now, the situation I ran into, I was using Beastfall Boots, which uses up your entire energy pool, and I had like 170 energy, which if you do the math, that should decrease my ultimate by 10 seconds if I spend it all, right? 75 times 2. But this calculation didn't work properly. I would use my ultimate, and thanks to my Beastfall Boots, I would spend all of my energy, like 170, and my ultimate cooldown would still only be reduced by 5 seconds. I was very confused. I hope Blizzard fixes it. Number 9, Shadow Clone damage. I mean, this has been mentioned a lot of times. I don't really care what they do, but if they make it viable, that'd be great. Number 10, a lot of unused glyphs like Fluidity, even the Snare and Frost Feeder. I've never seen a single person use any of these glyphs, so maybe it's time to buff them. We even changed them completely. Number 11, this one upsets me, the new Grenade unique ring. Why does it not say core skill instead of just flurry? Like, they keep pigeonholing us into using specific skills. Why don't they allow for some creativity and customization? Versus now you look at a grenade build, oh, they're using flurry, what a surprise. I just want some sense of choice, please. Number 12, the new core affix that Twisting Blades return faster. It seems interesting and I don't mind it, but it's just weaker than all of the other core affixes. How about instead of returning faster, the Twisting Blade maybe spins an extra time? Like, even if you don't have the aspect, it spins around you once, and with the aspect, it spins around you even more. And maybe it's time for a new unique for Twisting Blades. Maybe every time you shadow step, you also cast a Twisting Blade on the target, so you can kind of just jump around with the Twisting Blade. I think that would be cool. Number 13, the lack of utility utility tempers. Now, I know there's like this insane one that allows you to freeze, stun, immobilize, slow targets. Like that's a no-brainer. But outside of those utility tempered affixes, there's like nothing in my opinion, or like no valid choice almost. I'd love them to move all the trap altering tempering into the utility pool to make the utility tempering a little more interesting in my opinion. Number 14, the melee cutthroat basic skills. Again, I don't see anyone use these almost ever. In over 90% of cases, I see people use either Puncture or Heartseeker. I feel like the other basic skills need some sort of new reason to use them. And finally, number 15, I want to see a new caltrops or a trap aspect. I love that we can now increase the size and duration of caltrops, but I want to be able to use this skill without having it make me jump backwards. It just feels clunky when you're at least speed farming or trying to move through a dungeon quickly. So my idea is to have an aspect make caltrops become like an aura around you, similar to the Penitent Greaves, like the frost on the ground around you. I want to see a utility aspect that makes your caltrops, or why not all traps, every time you use it, simply follows your rogue where you go. And maybe the aspect lowers the cooldown of traps as well, because why not? Oh, actually, I just thought of it. Maybe cutthroat skills have a lucky hit chance to generate a caltrops where you are, so you don't even need it on the skill bar. That's it for my notes from the PTR. All in all, I'm loving this patch and it makes Diablo 4 feel almost like a new game. So many new things to discover and explore. What do you think? Are you excited for Season 4? Leave your thoughts in a comment.